Welcome to the 2025 Los Angeles Auto Show, one of the last auto shows of the year. Let's go check out what new cars, trucks, and SUVs they have on display and what we can expect in the next year. This show is massive. There are two main halls, tons of manufactured displays, cars everywhere. Coming in the main entrance here, we start off with a Hyundai display, and they've got a variety of different XRT models. There's the Ioniq 5, we've got a new Palisade here, some really cool rugged off-road looking versions of the Hyundai lineup. Now, in this video, it's going to have to be a rather brief and quick overview of all the different cars and displays because this is such an enormous show. If I go way too in depth, this might be a 3-hour-long video. So this is a quick overview, a preview of what the automotive industry is going to be offering us next year. As we walk in, the first display is the Hyundai booth. They actually have a press conference going on over there, and front and center is the new Ioniq 6N, which has been given a visual refresh. I like the look of this design a lot more. The pearl blue paint is very nice, and take a look at the wing on this thing. This is like a top-mounted Porsche GT3 style, enormous rear wing. This is a properly aggressive-looking all-electric performance sedan, the sibling to the Ioniq 5N, which is an introduction to fun EVs that aren't electric hypercars that cost more than the GDP of a small country, right? This thing has like the simulated shifting. The N division is giving us some pretty fun enthusiast options, even in the space of EVs. I am definitely looking forward to driving this thing because I really enjoyed spending time with the 5N. A lot of fun, and the whole blue and red accent theme going on here in the booth. Holy crap. You thought that wing was big. Take a look at the wing on this thing. This is literally a Porsche GT3 RS level wing. Full carbon fiber, top mounted, looks like it's adjustable. Wait, what? They're getting properly serious here with the Hyundai N division. Have a bunch of racing sims. You can hear and see big press conference going on over there, but that's loud and noisy and crowded, so we're gonna work our way around the various displays, take advantage of the fact that everybody's over there at the press conference, so the rest of the booths are gonna be a little more open. You can play soccer. Maybe if you score a goal, you can win a car. Just kidding. That's probably not true. There's some sort of concept car they're revealing over there. We'll check it out later. We've got the Genesis booth, the nice lineup here, the luxury premium arm for the Hyundai Kia group. We have a new CHR. I actually really like Toyota's new design direction. It started off with the Prius of all things, but I think it looks pretty nice. We've got some Priuses over there. I'm sure there'll be a RAV4 somewhere in the booth, as that's one of their new reveals. We've got a A86. I think this was a drift car for that Drifter movie that's coming out. Toyota always has just an absolutely massive booth. Obviously, lots of cars to show off. What is this thing? Man, it's just like a giant wing competition. The BZ Time Attack. Holy crap, that is an absolutely enormous rear wing. Crazy aero kit on this thing. Oh, this thing is cool. The Turbo Trail Cruiser. It's a 1985 Land Cruiser FJ60, but it's got a modern twin-turbo V6 from a Tundra shoved in it. That's definitely interesting. So you see at the auto show, it's not just like a dealership showroom floor where they just have the latest models. There's some cool concepts, one-offs, interesting builds. And then we have the practical family lineup here. Minivan Central. Where's the new RAV4? That's a RAV4, but that's a poster. I want to see the actual car in person. Here's one of the versions. That looks pretty nice. I like that styling quite a lot. And now we have the fun corner for Toyota. GR Corolla, fun little hot hatch. We've got the 86 and the Supra, although the Supra is ending. RIP, you had a good run. We've got some of the SUVs over here. Tacoma, a Lakers, that's very fitting. We are at the LA Auto Show after all. And then we have a rather interesting face-off. We have TRD Pro 4Runner versus the Pacifica off-road thing. This is kind of actually a very amusing staging in between the Chrysler Stellantis booth and Toyota. Which one would you rather take off-roading? A couple different 4Runners, Sequoia back there, Land Cruiser. Which headlight style do you guys like more on the new Land Cruiser? The Heritage one, which is kind of the half circle, or the more modern kind of Lego brick looking one? So as you can tell, Toyota has an absolutely massive booth, tons of cars on display, from their fuel-efficient, family-oriented, practical options to some of the fun enthusiast stuff to the trucks. So that's a quick look at the Toyota booth. The big new release for them is the RAV4. That's a new thing in the lineup. This is the Dodge Charger Scat Pack 6-pack. Finally, a gas engine under the hood of the new Charger, the Hurricane twin turbo inline 6. We drove this recently, 550 horsepower, all-wheel drive. We were down at the tail of the dragon in these things, and it is big, it is heavy, but it is also substantially lighter than the EV version. It's like 1,000 pounds less, and the important thing is it makes gas-powered noises, and I actually have a lot of fun with this thing. It's got line lock, launch control, you can drift it in full rear-wheel drive mode, and it handled its size pretty well on the Dragon. And this new color, this green, this actually is pretty cool. The one I was driving was Peel Out, that really bright orange, vibrant color, and it definitely stood out among the fall colors. But this one here, I actually really like this finish, a little bit more subtle. So Charger 6-pack, will we see a Hemi V8 under the hood of the Charger again? Maybe, I'd be willing to bet some money. We've got the EV version. This is the 4-door Daytona. The EV does get the front pass-through wing because on the EV, you want to have air channel over top of it, whereas in the gas, you need to inhale the air. So they slightly tailor the front end styling. Durangos continue. The Hellcat Durango is still, jailbreak version is available now. So they are still offering us big supercharged V8s. Very, very American. Chrysler is now just down to building a car. Well, technically, they split it, Pacifica and Voyager, I think. But look at this thing. Like, if they want to inject some enthusiasm and excitement into the brand, you do kind of crazy things like this. The Chrysler Pacifica, this is solely a concept. Interior looks relatively normal, but we've got the rack up top, the tires, the lift, and this flat gray finish to it. Can minivans be cool? I think so, right? Stuff like this seems kind of fun. You know what I'm wondering is, why don't they build a 300 off of that platform, right? It always was a platform shared like in the family kind of thing, and it would give Chrysler a bigger reason to exist instead of just having a minivan, right? That's all they have left. We have Ram here. They've got Rams going back to NASCAR. We've got Hemis back in the Rams. The RHO has the Hurricane high output, but is TRX coming back? I mean, they put the Hemi back into the Ram itself, so I'd also be willing to bet we're gonna get a TRX back. This is the new badging for the Hemi-powered Rams, which is really, really cool. That they do branding, marketing, all of that kind of stuff really, really well. It is interesting though, because the Hemi in the Ram 1500 is more expensive, less efficient, and less power output compared to the Hurricane, the twin-turbo, more modern inline 6. But you know, people want that V8 sound and rumble and feel. And I get it. I mean, I had a Hemi E-Torque Ram 1500 Laramie a couple years ago, and it just kind of feels right. We have Alfa Romeo with the Giulia, the Tonale, which I believe was just given a recent minor refresh, and then the 33 Stradale, which is ultra rare, ultra expensive, and extremely beautiful. Take a look at this thing. I wish Alfa would do like a Maserati MC20 base supercar to help. Not this expensive, but you know, these kinds of looks on the MC20 platform shared, it's in the same family, make it, I don't know, $200,000-$300,000 and give Alfa a halo brand that's not quite this expensive level and rarity. That would be pretty cool. Otherwise, these are the two cars that Alfa Romeo has. Now, Jeep is on a bit of a run. They are launching many, many new vehicles, and right here, the Recon is the latest. This thing is like a little, it's a baby Wrangler, essentially, but it's all electric. Now, before you go, oh my gosh, it's an EV, 650 horsepower out of this thing. The doors come off, the windows come out, the rear glass comes out. You've got the Jeep look. It looks like a maybe like 75, 80% scale Wrangler. And like the specs, it's gonna be, it's trail rated. You can do water fording, all of the things you expect out of a Jeep that looks the part here. And I'm 650 horsepower. Now the price point is a little bit on the higher side. Obviously have not driven it yet. They just revealed it this week here, but it's got the looks. You got the illuminated grille up front. We've got some, yeah, okay, that's noisy. This is like the Camp Jeep thing where you get to go ride in a Wrangler. They may have Gladiators running too, and you can see all the capabilities. It's really cool when you come to the auto shows now. They have so many of these test drive ride experiences to showcase. It's not just purely a static event. But back to the Recon, pretty cool. I am definitely rather interested to try this thing out. That interior is also really cool. It's got almost like Land Rover Defender vibes, the screen and everything. So this is one of the newest Jeep models to come out, but they've also released the Cherokee. That was been refreshed. The Grand Wagoneer has been refreshed too. They simplified it by dropping the Wagoneer nameplate, so it's just Grand Wagoneer. Slight tweaks to the styling, lighting up front, kind of simplifying the trim. The interior is still relatively the same, but we've got the new DRL lighting signature on the full-size Grand Wagoneer. Wranglers continue on. They're doing some special editions and versions of that. The Wagoneer S, which is hysterically fast. This thing, just put it in sport mode. You still have traction control on, and it will do a rolling burnout. I was actually kind of shocked. The new Grand Cherokee, or refreshed Grand Cherokee, has a Hurricane Inline 4. A lot of cool engine tech under there, trying to replace the V6 with a turbocharged 4-cylinder. We'll see how the market responds to that. We have the Maserati booth with the Gran Turismo Trofeo, the Gran Cabrio Folgore, which is the electric version, and the MC Pura Cielo, a slight refresh to the MC20. Still absolutely gorgeous. This paint is crazy. I've seen this paint outside in the sun, and it is wild. The looks of this car are awesome. The interior has been given a light refresh too. And I mean, Maserati is all about style. This thing is actually a lot of fun to drive to. Well, I haven't driven the MC Pura, but I've driven the MC20, and it is quite a lot of fun to drive. Carbon tub, mid-engine supercar, the doors go up. And then we have the Grecale. So there's the Maserati lineup. And then we reach Volvo. Looks like there's a coffee station in there. They are celebrating 70 years in the US. We've got an EX90, and take a look at that bus. It's really cool. We'll go inside in a moment. We've got the new EX30 Cross Country, which I drove yesterday, and it is a ton of fun. You get more knobby all-terrain tires, a different front fascia with this really cool topographical texture, and then slight suspension lift. This thing has a nearly perfect 50-50 weight distribution. It's 422 horsepower, a little small crossover, all EV, and it is a lot of fun to drive. But now let's go inside this enormous Volvo bus. It's really cool. They've got some stuff on display. We have some of Volvo's safety innovations through the years. The safety belt, head restraint, bunch of different things throughout the years. We've got the Volvo story here. Bowers & Wilkins, awesome speakers. And then look at all these little pieces of history. Old seat belts, little badges, evolution of the logo, the key fob, and now it's just a card for some of the new EVs or this little brick thing. But cool display here from Volvo celebrating 70 years in the US. This is cool. Obviously, Volvo is very well known for their focus on safety, and they've got this structure stripped away safety cage of the EX90 highlighting various components that they put into this vehicle in order to protect occupants. So, all the different kinds of materials, whether it's just like stepping up. We've got just normal, mild steel, high strength, very high, extra high, ultra high. The various different tiers of the strength of the materials. The other big news from Volvo is for the 2026 model year, the EX90 has migrated to an 800-volt architecture, so even faster charging. That's really impressive. They've been updating their infotainment system with the Volvo UX. It's powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon, so lots of cool tech updates coming for the Swedish brand. And now across from Volvo, we've got Nissan with the Murano here, the Pathfinder. So I was told there's actually something really cool to check out in the Pathfinder. It has a new next generation wireless charger, and you might be like, what's the big deal? A wireless charger? Well, it goes from 5 watts to 15 watts, and it has a cooling fan in. All right, let me hop in. So you notice there's like a little puck right there. That's magnetic, so you can put your phone on it. that's like magnetized on there. It's not moving. So you know sometimes you put your phone on a wireless charger and it slides away. Not anymore. So you have a little wireless charging puck right there to keep it. Yeah, that's actually a pretty strong magnet. And also, it has a cooling fan so you don't overheat your phone, especially important when it's charging at a faster speed. So that's a little piece of news in the new Pathfinder. We've got a Heritage Edition Z. I love this color combo. Look at those wheels and this paint, the way it changes under the different angles of lighting. What else do we have? The Armada Pro 4X. Is there an Armada Nismo? I don't see an Armada Nismo in the booth right now. Kicks, that's very bright. The new Nissan Leaf, which actually has a lot of really cool innovations and has led to the end of the Aria. They've canceled the Aria. The Leaf is now the EV for the lineup, and it comes in at a really, really impressive price point, under $30,000, right? You can actually still get a new car for that with pretty good range too. I like this blue. 303 miles, which is very, very usable. The Leaf has returned, and you have dual charge ports. You can either charge with the NACS Tesla style on one side or the conventional other charging port on the other side. We have the Refresh Sentra, another very affordable model in the lineup. In a world where the average new car is over $50,000, it's a bit refreshing to see brands start offering more reasonable priced cars, because not everybody can afford a $1,000 a month payment or a $50-something thousand car just to daily drive, right? So the Sentra packs some cool styling. It's got updates to the interior. The tech is definitely feels nice and premium too, with the double infotainment and cluster screens there. So that's the new Sentra. Powertrain is essentially carryover. And speaking of powertrain, you look at this and you go, wait, why is there a Mitsubishi Outlander in the Nissan booth? Well, no, this is a platform shared vehicle. This is a new Rogue plug-in hybrid. So with that joint alliance, they are sharing powertrain technologies, and with this one a little bit more. I genuinely originally thought they were going to squish this powertrain into the existing Rogue, but it looks like they're just slightly rebranding the Outlander plug-in hybrid as the Nissan Rogue plug-in hybrid, but it will be a welcome addition to the lineup, having a plug-in hybrid option here. Out back, they did a little bit of tweaking to the styling here with the Nissan branding, but there's the Rogue plug-in hybrid. I think I'll be driving this in a couple weeks, so we'll see what it feels like. But when I spent some time with the Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid, I was actually pretty impressed with the overall experience. It might seem like I'm zipping around really quickly, but it's because we've only gone through like 20% of the show. We've done a couple brands now, but there is so much more to see. There is an entire other haul of cars to see, so trying to be efficient here. We've reached the Chevy booth where they have some trucks, but also some new vehicles on display. So not the Silverado EV Trail Boss, but right here, this little blue car is the updated Chevy Bolt. Another familiar all-electric nameplate has been given slight refresh. Quick peek at the interior with some updates, but Chevy, GM, is moving away from CarPlay, not just their EVs, apparently everything, no more CarPlay. So that's, I think, a little bit of a shame. That may turn some buyers away, but the Bolt is a affordable, small little EV, very different from some of the initial EVs that first came out, like Silverado EVs are massive, very expensive. This one here is a reasonable price point and a reasonable size. So tweaks to the styling, slight updates to the Bolt. They've got a pretty full-fledged all-electric lineup now. Blazer, Equinox, and then obviously the Cadillac models too. But oh boy, take a look at that. That is the Corvette CX concept. A preview of the potential future of Corvette. And not only did they reveal one of these at the Quail, there's a race car version of it too. And it looks so cool. They've been putting out a couple different Corvette concepts. This one might be my favorite looking one. They're all gonna be very spaceship looking, but trying to preserve some of the Corvette design cues. This thing has like the full fighter jet canopy that opens up, a modernized reimagination of the Corvette flags logo. But I mean, this is a straight up hypercar looking thing. If Corvette keeps moving in this direction, that's gonna be really, really cool to see. Around back, you've got the massive active rear wing. And again, just a concept here. Forged carbon everywhere, crazy aero, exposed rear tires. And you see there's kind of Corvette looking taillight shapes. So that's the CX concept, but how about some Corvettes that are actually real right now that you can buy and drive on the road? We have ourselves the Z06. Obviously, I'm slightly biased, but I still love this car so much. Many, many happy miles with mine. This one here with the full exposed carbon Z07 pack. Looks nice and orange. See, oh, that's the CXR. That's the race car concept version. And I believe it is going to be available in Gran Turismo. Yep, so you can play that in a video game setting. But around the other side, if we loop around, there's another Corvette. The current king of the Corvette lineup, the ZR1X. The X means it has all-wheel drive, hybridized front axle from the E-Ray, but tuned up a little bit more. So you get 1,064 horsepower from the twin-turbo V8, that LT7, plus the front axle E-motor. That's all-wheel drive and 1,250 horsepower, which is unbelievably insane. Having driven the regular ZR1, I cannot imagine what the ZR1X is going to be like. This thing has the ZTK enormous rear wing. That carbon fiber rear wing is hilariously massive, and they actually upgraded the carbon ceramic brakes. It's got the Alcon upgraded brake system because with all that power, you need to be also able to stop. And this one here, in this matte silver finish, is this the Quail Special Edition? They revealed it at the Quail, and the matte finish is really, really cool. Now, this is without a doubt deep into supercar territory. It's hypercar levels of performance, but I hesitate to call it an all-out hypercar because hypercars, there's more to it than just all-out performance, right? There's a rarity and the fact that this shares the taillights and the badge with a regular Corvette Stingray, which is an epic car, but not a hypercar, right? So this thing, so cool. It's such a good time to be an enthusiast and have cars like this coming from American manufacturers. Look at that. Nürburgring in 6 minutes and 49 seconds. That's wild. The ZR1X. Wait, what is this? The Super Cruise experience, but Super Cruise is hand-free driving, so you just sit there and let the simulator do its thing. Super Cruise is awesome. My favorite of the hands-free systems in cars now. Let's keep moving. We have the Lincoln booth, which looks very nice and calming. I like this decoration here. We've got the updated Navigator. This is an Aviator right here. The Lincoln Nautilus, which I like quite a lot. I was impressed when I spent some time living with it. The styling's cool, really, really nice interior. And then another Navigator with, look at those wheels. Those are some pretty cool wheel designs. Subaru always has such a cool auto show display. They've got this massive immersive screen. Got some national park footage here. The floor is also a screen. And then the lineup of their vehicles, very nature themed. And they have puppies for interaction, and I believe you can actually adopt these puppies. Yeah, I remember they do the same thing at the Chicago Auto Show. Who doesn't like some puppies, right? And then look how immersive this is. Lots of nature. There's like a whole like structure here, national park themed. We've got some of the newer vehicles, and then a little corner here for the enthusiasts. We've got BRZ, and then Project Midnight, this crazy time attack carbon fiber body WRX, 670 horsepower, I think, and it doesn't even have real headlights. Those are like a sticker decal. This thing is crazy. I think they debuted this at the Goodwood Festival of Speed years ago. Like, look at the size of that intake and the wing. Wow. Wow. There's a very big contrast seeing stuff like this from Subaru, and then you've got like the Forester and the Outback. It's different personalities of the company. We have ourselves a WRX TS in a very bright shade of yellow. Are we gonna get a proper STI model? Like, they're getting closer and closer. TS is tuned by STI, so it's got like Recaro bucket seats, and you get it with a manual transmission, upgraded brakes, suspension, but it's still not a full STI model. We're not gonna get anything that crazy, but come on, it'd be fun, right? We've got the history. Oh look, perfect timing. Subaru just pulled out the Trail Seeker. Look at this. The Subaru booth is nicely divided into different sections. We've got the enthusiast stuff, we've got hybrid EVs over here, we've got wilderness models over there, and then we have puppies over there. Going through this giant simulated tree. We've got the new Outback Wilderness. Very cool booth. Very, very immersive and just a cool experience. Moving on to Volkswagen. That green is actually really, really cool. I love how manufacturers are coming out with really interesting paint colors that aren't just black, white, gray, silver. But that's a cool green. There is supposed to be, oh, there it is. This was that VW bus that somehow managed to mostly survive the insane Pacific Palisades fires. They fully restored it. Kind of wish they left some of the battle scars, right? But that's kind of cool to see right here, along with the new ID Buzz. And then this one is some sort of self-driving concept. You see the full stack of sensors and LiDARs and stuff up top. Interesting, self-driving vehicle. Bunch of different modifications for sensors. These are becoming more and more prevalent. I think Waymo actually, not that's related to this thing, but on the topic of self-driving, Waymo just got approved to drive on freeways here in Los Angeles. We've got the Tiguan. Ooh, I like this interior color combo. Look at that. Oh my God. For a second, I thought this was a mirror. Like, it's actually open. That's a car on the other side. Yeah, I straight up thought I was about to walk into a mirror. All right, we have a couple more things here in this hall, and then we got to move on to the next one. There is a whole other hall, and there's vehicles in between here, but the main Hyundai booth. So let's go check out this concept. It's called the Hyundai Crater concept, and it looks like something that could survive on the moon. You see the little square lighting that ties in with the other Ioniq vehicles. Really rugged looking bumpers, wheels. We got a rear hinge door. Whoa. All right, that's a cool interior. That is properly cool. I'm gonna sneak in just a little bit closer to show this to you guys. That looks like a couch armrest, but look at those seats. And like this magma looking glow. I just love that automakers are starting to do concepts again that aren't necessarily production intent. It could either be just a design exercise or possibly future intent for the brand, but this thing is cool to see. And then through here, they have another Ioniq 6N. This rear wing, I can't get over this rear wing. Like, this is a Hyundai electric sedan with a massive wing out back. Like, that's cool. That is absolutely cool. They're speaking to enthusiasts with the N brand from a performance standpoint, and then like XRT and like concepts like that for the off-road stuff. Here is the Genesis GV60 Magma. Magma is their performance line. Now this is an EV, so same platform as the Kia EV6 GT and the Ioniq 5N. Serious horsepower numbers and more aggressive styling. See those little canard dive plane there? Pretty aggressive looking wheels and tires. These are 21-inch wheels. And the orange, whoa, 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 look at the wing back here. Looks like double horns sticking up here on this four-door EV kind of little crossover hot hatch thing, the GV60 Magma. So Genesis is really starting to push into the performance envelope. They have also previewed a supercar concept just now. So they're getting pretty serious. Their luxury stuff is definitely nice. I'm a big fan of the G70, the GV70, the GV80, the G90. They're really, really nice. And now performance stuff. What do you guys think about the looks of this? The Ioniq 5N is a ton of fun to drive. It's legitimately quick, has a lot of really cool features. So I'm excited to see the luxury version with this GV60 Magma. Quick peek at the interior. We've got the floating center console, the suede bucket seats with the orange accenting. This thing is pretty cool. I can't wait to drive one of these and see what it's like. We have the Lucid stand with the Gravity, their second model after the Air, an SUV, which does have kind of minivan looking proportions, but also incredible performance. Lucid's technology, design, driving dynamics are properly impressive, and I am very, very much looking forward to trying out their SUV, seeing how it stacks up against something like the Rivian R1S. It's more sleek and like sporty looking, less of the rugged all-terrain, go everywhere R1S feel. Oh my God, I'm like navigating all the different interviews going on right here. There are cameras and tripods everywhere. So that's the first haul. I am already exhausted. It has taken about 2 hours to walk this hall, see the various cars on display. As you can tell, it's a little bit chaotic, but we get to see just so many different cars on display from all the different brands. But wait, there's more. So we're gonna make our way over to the other hall now and also probably see some stuff in between here and there because there's other manufacturers on display here too. That's Paul Walker's R34 GTR from the movie. And then inside here, there's some pretty crazy cool cars. From the Peterson, we've got an SLR, is that an NSX Type R, and a Bugatti EB110. There's a McLaren Speedtail, a McLaren F1 car from the previous era. That's cool to see. There's a P1, oh, a P1, hello. Very McLaren themed here with the F1 car and then a P1. It's always nice to get to see one of this. Oh my gosh, pretty crazy MSO options on it. Look at that livery, that's all painted. The purple P1, all on display from this company Spark that has this OBD2 like diagnostic scanning tool. Is that an old McLaren Can-Am car, I think? A couple more F1 cars. This is actually really, really cool, an Indy car. Whoa, they went all out. It's like a Japanese parking structure meet kind of vibe here with a bunch of cool JDM cars. R35, modified, NSX, old. Wow, this is actually, oh, look at that thing. This is a really, really cool display. I did not expect this in between the halls. HKS R34. I got a little simulated tandem drift going on over here. This guy's got some brand new tires. So we already did South Hall. We have West Hall, we're approaching there. And in between, looks like the other GM brands have a little corner here. Cadillac CT5V Blackwing. We have an Optic, Escalade IQ back there, GMC Acadia. That front plate just fell off the Hummer. We have a Buick in the corner here. So interesting they don't have like a full display in the main hall. So you're kind of like wandering in between and just like, surprise, here's some more brands with more cars. Outside, there's a bunch of different test drive and ride experiences. There'll be lines for that. So that's cool where you get to actually interact with the cars. It's not just stationary sitting in place. Also, this Hummer is massive, right? Curb weight's like nearly 10,000 pounds, ridiculous power and size. And take a look at that. Those are carbon fiber wheels. I mean, anything to try to reduce the weight, but that is crazy. 22-inch carbon fiber wheels now available on the GMC Hummer EV. When I saw that, I was like, excuse me, what? This interior is cool though. Look at the red-orange accents. Oh. All right, well, this is not a new car. This is a decade-old Porsche 918 Spyder. But I will never get tired of seeing one of these. They have appreciated so much. Good ones are 2 million plus now. It's crazy how they're skyrocketing. Really nice Vistock cars. They're only gonna keep going up. One of the hypercar holy trinity. It's crazy that this car is a decade old. Naturally aspirated V8 hybrid, all-wheel drive versus the P1 and the LaFerrari. That's cool to see. And then across from that, Carrera GT, the legacy, the hierarchy of the Porsche specialty cars, also worth staggering amounts of money. Manual transmission, V10, yeah, legendary. This is cool to see. Again, you see like we're in a transition between the halls. Porsche's not here as a brand, as an actual OEM. This is Porsche downtown LA. So this is an enormous setup for what's a dealership, right? We've got a Macan EV over there, and then Taycan, is this a Turbo GT? Oh no, this is a Sport Turismo. Now, Porsche just announced the Cayenne EV, but I don't see one here, again, because this is not like Porsche OEM on display. This is a dealership. But the Cayenne EV is more than just a bigger version of the Macan EV. Some of the specs are really impressive. Charging speed, power, acceleration, tech, range, all of it. It's gonna be really, really impressive. I am looking forward to experiencing and see what it's like. It's the most powerful road-going Porsche ever made, the new Cayenne EV. Now this might be the road-going Porsche with the biggest rear wing, a 992 GT3 RS. That's a cool spec. They've got some merch. And then the rest of the lineup, anything else really cool? Macans. Oh, this is one of the anniversary turbos. That's cool. Oh, ST. And then we have the Thybrid, the T hybrid, but oh, the ST. A manual GT3 RS with the wing delete. It's a 3RS Touring manual. There's a reason why these things are going for such an insane dollar amount. The ST. All right, so that's Porsche's kind of little display. GT4 RS over there. Kind of bummed there wasn't a Cayenne electric to check out because they just revealed it here in LA, but because it's not Porsche themselves on display here, there's not one here. Into the next hall we go, where Ford has a big booth. Ready, set, Ford. A lot of screens, a lot of cars. All right, this hall looks to be a bit smaller than the other one. I think the other one's more of the main hall. We've got Mach-E Rally. Oh, look at this yellow on this GTD. Customer deliveries are properly starting on the GTD. Having gone for a ride in one of these things, it's pretty crazy watching the inboard suspension in the window that you can see when you're sitting in the car, the enormous rear wing with DRS, and this yellow is very interesting. I personally probably wouldn't spec this yellow. It does have some metallic flake to it. The titanium exhaust, the massive flared out fenders. The GTD carries a serious price tag, but also brings some serious presence. Built by Multimatic, just like the Ford GT. Every single one is a custom spec for a customer. There's the allocation process. Well, there it is, the Mustang GTD, the current halo for the Ford brand, the top dog model. This is like a Baja race truck. This thing looks like it suffered some abuse. Actually, a lot of abuse. Additional backup drive shafts and other parts in the back. Yeah. If you ever watch like what they do on like the Baja races and what they subject the vehicles to, it's absolutely insane. Look at this Maverick on the steel wheels with the eruption green paint. I kind of like it, actually. This is the new RTR edition Mustang, based off the EcoBoost, with Von Gitten's team doing their RTR treatments. You see the lights up front in the grille, and it's got the whole kind of drift formula with the EcoBoost engine. It's got the drift brake on the inside, different calibration. Fun, cool little package. They're really trying to cater to all different levels of enthusiasts, right? Because you have the GTD at the very top, but that costs as much as a house. This here brings fun in a different form. And the RTR name is definitely becoming pretty synonymous. They've been synonymous with Ford, but they're doing more and more in collaboration. So this is pretty cool. We've got some Tremor models in the back. Explorer Tremor, Expedition, the whole overland kind of exploration theme models. The light off-road packages are getting really popular across different OEMs. People want to be able to go camping, active lifestyles, and they also like the look, right? You get the more rugged tires and wheels and all of that. Ford doesn't have anything massively new to announce here at the LA Auto Show as we're wrapping up the year. GTD is always cool to see, and then that RTR Mustang. But they do have, similar to Jeep, this like Bronco experience, and you can go for a ride in a Ford Bronco. You're not allowed to drive, liability obviously and risk, but you can hop in, passenger seat, and see the capabilities of the Ford Bronco. And up we go. This is the Rivian R2, the smaller model coming to the lineup soon, joining the R1S, R1T, which are on their second generation. Very, very excited about this. Styling is instantly recognizable. Looks like a slightly shrunken down R1S. And what I'm even more excited about is the R3 and R3X, which is even smaller. The R3X is like the rally cross off-road little pocket rocket. But the R2 is going to come at an even more appealing price point, smaller size. So I think this is going to do really, really good things for Rivian. It's got some cool innovations, just like the bigger brother R1 models. The new steering wheel, the new screens and everything. The graphics are amazing on these things. So this is the R2. They're getting very, very close to launching these things, I think. We've got the Gen 2 R1S, R1T up there. We'll be spending some time with Gen 2 quad motor soon. I'm excited to try out Tank Turn. I hope it snows in Michigan when we have it, because that sounds like fun. 1,000 horsepower and a big SUV or truck. Yeah. This one's got the tent in the back of the bed too. You see the different in personality compared to Lucid, which just launched the Gravity Touring, more on-road. These are like, look at the tires and wheels, right? More go-anywhere, adventure-focused EVs. Honda has a display here with their lineup of cars. And front and center, the new Prelude in a very cool shade of blue. The styling on this thing is definitely cool. Two-door coming back, nice and sporty looking. Now the powertrain is less sporty in my opinion. I kind of wish they would have done like the Type R powertrain in this thing, kind of living up to the name. And the price point is also going to be rather high. So I'm curious to see how the market reacts to the Prelude. You obviously have the brand equity in the name. It's very recognizable, but coming soon, the Honda Prelude has returned. See, it's got like a little wing on the back. It looks definitely very, very sporty. Here is the new 2027 Kia Telluride with a new front end. One of the funniest comments I saw when they first released this thing was, all of a sudden I want waffles. And yes, this front end kind of looks like a waffle griddle, but definitely very distinctive styling. Like the lights are moved very far out to the edges with the signature orange DRLs here. This one's got the tow hooks up front, the more rugged X Pro version, I believe. This right here is, I think, just a design element there. More rugged tires with more ground clearance, flush door handles pop out. And this one's got satin finish. View of the rear end of the Telluride X Pro with those new taillights. You get the lettering across the back, additional tow hooks. Let's take a quick peek at the interior. We have the double display screens here. That center console is really cool too. It's got like almost a forged carbon look, tons of space, very open and spacious, lots of storage above and below. But this one is the X Pro model, so more rugged, right? Even here on the dash, that forged carbon look. That's definitely very, very interesting. I think the styling is going to be a little bit more polarizing than before. The previous one was maybe a little more conservative. This is pushing a little more wild. This one is a different theme on the inside. Looks like this trim piece has different material options. Same thing on the middle, right? Different themes and feel, but really cool color combo. This one's in a gloss silver finish, and that's a very different looking front grille. You get these body color painted lines that kind of fade in from the outer, so different personality up front compared to the X Pro. I think this looks a little bit more conventional, but also very, very unique. This is definitely a super distinctive look up front. Kia definitely pushes the envelope with their styling. And then here's another one with the more waffle-looking front grille finish. And everybody is checking out the Tellurides, but here we've got the K4 hatchback. Woohoo, more little wagons. That makes me happy. We'll see how they sell, because Americans haven't seemed to love wagons, which is why they haven't brought them here for us, but the wagons that have come have been like super high-end performance ones like the RS6, E63, but they also give us like lifted all-terrain wagons, Volvo with their like the cross-country V60 and things like that. But this one here is just a hatchback version of the K4, their entry-level little sedan. Really cool, wild styling, and you'll have more practicality out back. So hatchback version of the K4, I'm for it. Well, there's a walkthrough of the 2025 LA Auto Show. Apologies if some of it was rushed or a little too brief. As you can see, there were a lot of cars, a lot of manufacturers, just a lot of square footage to cover, but giving you a preview of what we can expect next year and even the following year, because some of these cars are 2026 model year cars that are hitting dealerships soon, but some are also 2027 model year cars that we're not going to get until later on in 2026. But this is a cool way to wrap up the year, one of the last auto shows, seeing some new debuts, some concept cars, some soon-to-come cars in production, and then some really interesting enthusiast displays, which I think was just an added fun part. It's not simply just the OEMs with their displays. And there's a good amount of brands here, but you notice some that were missing. I don't think I saw BMW, no. There was no Audi, there's no Mercedes. So some of the brands still aren't attending. It's not like the heyday of auto shows where it was packed with all the manufacturers. They do crazy displays. But I hope you guys enjoyed this walkthrough tour of the LA Auto Show. I have taken a lot of steps today, getting my cardio and exercise in. Thanks for watching.